Evelyn to Philip, February 8, 1944. Sweetest darling, on file today are yours of January 26th and V-mail of January 30th. I don't usually write V-mail either, unless there is little to write or little time to write. I do have quite a bit to say. First, Richie Lieberman is now definitely in England, and you may contact him with the address I sent you. He said he visited a town called Hampton or something like that, according to Lena. Secondly, Dot, Snuff, and Harold have promised to visit me this Sunday and stay for dinner. We ought to have a grand time watching the kids. They're so funny, especially when they are together. Thirdly, we had a nice V-mail from Jack S., and he hopes there will be 2 corporals in the family shortly. Fourthly, my mom got your letter and will reply shortly. Thanks for the compliment, baby. Consider yourself soundly kissed. I'm just as happy as you are to know Red is back with the company and on the road to complete recovery. Give him my best, will you, sweet? I've shopped for a coat, having time when in town recently. I haven't found anything I could really go for. I've decided I'd rather have a gray color, and if I can't get what I want this season reduced, I'll wait till next season when I'll have a large selection to pick from at regular prices. The only reason I write of my desires isn't because I want to hurt you in any way, or your position as, quote, provider, end quote, but to tell you of my plans or desires. Don't worry, dearest. If I want something badly, I'll... Page 2, get it. Mickey liked her fascinator immensely. Page 3, I've completed half of the back of Mom's sweater, and it's coming along nicely. I might say that Adele is sleeping more soundly these nights, and consequently I'm feeling rested. When I sleep straight through the night, no matter how little sleep I may have, I feel rested. I can't stand the constant interruptions. They kill me. I'm happy to say that my appetite is better, and I feel generally more healthy and well. In fact, I've almost decided not to get the vitamin pills, except that they will do me no harm, and if you can get them from me, I'll buy them. I'll give you an idea of what I did today. Arose at 7:30, fed Adele breakfast. I usually wash her and bring her down in her sleepers, consisting of orange juice, prunes, cereal, finally got her to eat it, a soft-boiled egg, and as much milk as she'll drink, usually a half glass. I had breakfast, half a grapefruit, glass of milk, 2 slices of toast and butter. Clean up the kitchen. Dress Adele and get dressed myself. Washed floor in our room. Also general cleaning. Went to 11th Street to shop for Mom. Cleaned downstairs. Folded and put away clothes my mom washed last night. Pressed. Adele had lunch of squash, beets, vegetables with lamb, apricot and applesauce, and a glass of milk. Yesterday she had her first lamb chop and liked it. When she particularly likes the food, she rubs her chest, good manner. She runs all over the place and makes everyone nervous. She's up the stairs, in the kitchen, trying to pull out all the pots and pans, in the dining room closet to rub her nose in the fur of whatever coats may be hanging there. Opens the drawers of the secretary and makes a good mess. Turns the dials of the radio. Opens the page 4 doors of the buffet and almost catches her fingers. Shoves the walker all over the place and bangs into whatever stops it. And I could go on and on. I want her to get used to walking about in the house for when the warmer weather sets in. She'll want to walk about outside. If she falls in the house, she doesn't hurt or bruise herself as she would outdoors. She darn near yanked all of Mom's hair out today. She also likes to open tied bows, etc. She gets bashful at times, and when she does, she opens her mouth to its utmost and it sticks for a moment. When very excited, she makes a shrill, drawn-out laugh-like sound that is very pleasant to the ear. At 5:15, she had a dinner of chicken noodle soup, slice of bread soaked in a cup of junket, and a glass of milk. When bathing her, usually daily, I place a blanket on the bathroom floor and all items necessary for her toilet on it. I sit her on the blanket, undress her with her cooperation, and bathe her in the tub. I place a small blanket on the base of the tub, which prevents her from sliding all over the place. I soap her from head to foot, lay her down, her head resting on my arm. I'm on my knees to get the soap out of her hair. Back to the blanket, dried, powdered, and dressed. I sort of set her hair, rock her a bit, and flop her into bed. Then, after cleaning up, polishing Adele's shoes, I either do the dishes, very seldom in the evening as they are usually finished when I am, and go right to work on my correspondence. Tonight I took time to comb out my hair thoroughly, as I had said it last night and hadn't had time to comb it properly. Must write to Jack S. and Sid now, so I'll close with my deepest love and a long, lingering hug and kiss for you, my sweet. Your Ev. Philip to Evelyn, V-mail dated February 8, 1944. Dearest darling, this V-mail is in the way of being a temporary expedient. At the moment, I have 8 pages of the London letter finished, but so far I've covered only the first day. I figure it'll take at least 8 more pages, but rather than keep you waiting for it, and I don't have the time to complete it tonight, I decided to throw in this V-mail as a filler. You will learn from the letter that Ed was unable to get a pass, and the long-awaited reunion didn't come off after all. However, I have good news to make up for the bad. Today I received Ed's letter explaining why he couldn't meet me and asking if I could get a pass on the 17th. I showed his letter to the first sergeant, and he said, okay. This time I hope we make it. I'm flat broke for a change, and I'll have to borrow to finance this pass, but there are times when one has no alternative, and this is one of them. In this case, money cuts no ice whatever. I also managed during the afternoon to knock out a few lines to I. Gutkin. Of course, I wasted no time at all sending off a letter to Ed, telling him that the date was on again. Please forgive the scantiness of my messages lately, sweet, but I know you'll understand why it had to be so. I'll do my best to complete the London letter tomorrow. Good night for now, my darling. Kiss Adele for me and give my love to all. Ever your Phil. Letter from Jack Narenberg, dated February 8, 1944, to Evelyn. Dear Ev, received your swell letters today and sure got a great kick out of the self-patting little princess. Your observations on the Ev, Phil, Jack letter situation are wrong, and that I have no compunctions about you reading first what I write to Phil or vice versa, except in rare instances, and then I can't exactly say why. Perhaps that's what you said when you said, I don't think it right. Then you're right, I'm wrong in saying you're wrong. Oh hell. Let's do as you suggested and skip it. Sorry I started it. I've just finished a letter to Phil, page 2, in which I thanked him for the swell V-mail personally printed Happy Birthday Jack. Ev, you must forgive me for not remembering yours or Phil's birthday. without feeling egotistical, just matter of fact, I know by my feelings for you that I'm held in your esteem. Why then shouldn't I bother to remember that which is so important? The only excuse I have to offer is this. My mind is not, as yours and Phil's, arranged neatly. It seems I allow too many things to occupy it at the same time, and never discard or rearrange thoughts that gather there so that I may have room for important details. Is Phil's March 16th? What's yours? Gee, I was sorry to hear your last pictures were disappointing. Film being so elusive these days, to say nothing of the green lucre. With me there is nothing new. I'm page 3, sitting tight and learning the meaning of patience the hard way. About Adeline, it's this way. She answered my letter the first night that came along after the day she received it. Same day. Stupid wasting all these words. This she did because, in her words, quote, I wasn't able to think of a solitary excuse for not writing that very same night, end quote. Someday I shall show you her letters, and I'm certain you'll be amazed at the similarity in phrasing and asides between her letters and Phil's. Need I say more as to how delightfully she writes? As to her feelings for me, I evidently haven't aroused them, but by page 4, her questions as to how this and that is turning out and the obvious inference that I let her know, it makes me feel she isn't in the other extreme disinterested. Let's say she's passive, and if I know anything, she'll remain so to all the boys till this is over. Quien sabe? Maybe I will be the lucky one. About her being or going to be your closest friend, it warmed me to know you feel that way, and so it shall be. Well, if I remembered how I closed that last, or next to the last letter, I might try to do as well now, but I can't remember, so I'll just say goodbye now, and my love to you all. How's Goldie? As ever, Jackie.